So there's more to dewinterizing an RV than just flushing the antifreeze out of the plumbing lines, especially if you have a tankless water heater. Tankless water heaters require a descaling process that, if neglected, can greatly reduce their efficiency and their lifespan. Today I'm going to walk you through the process step by step. When we're done, your plumbing lines will be clean and your tankless water heater will be working at its maximum efficiency. Let's start by reconnecting your coach batteries if you remove them over the winter. You can also connect to 120 volt shore power if you want to get the converter running. Either or both is fine, but ultimately we're going to need 12 volt power at the water pump. Next, I'll make sure all the waste tank drains are closed. I'll also close all the outdoor faucets, spray ports, low point drains, and even confirm the temperature and pressure valve on your water heater is closed. The only thing I have open at this point is the fresh tank drain valve. I'll circle back in a minute to why I have this open. Now I'll head inside, turn on the lights, open the slide outs, and make sure all interior faucets and showers are also turned off. Before I start dewinterizing anything, I like to remove the screen filters at all the water inlets, as well as the water pump filter. These aren't per se filters, they're just debris screens designed to prevent things like small pebbles, sand, maybe even small bugs from entering the water system and running through the appliances. I just give them a good rinse with warm water and a little dish soap to clean off any debris. Also, most of you will have an outside water filter system that was disconnected entirely from the plumbing system when you winterized. You're okay, but if your water filter system is hard plumbed into the RV, make sure the canisters are installed on the housings. You don't want to put filters in the canisters yet, but if you don't have canisters on your housing, you're going to have a mess inside your RV. And if you have an electric UVC filter on your water system, it should be disconnected from power. One thing before we start, my tankless water heater does not have bypass valves. Cold water in, hot water out, you run antifreeze directly into the water heater to winterize, and therefore no need for bypass valves. But if you do have bypass valves at your water heater, you'll need to reference your owner's manual for the right dewinterizing valve configuration. We've already completed the first step. With prep already done, we can move to the second step, flushing out the lines with fresh water. Back when you winterized your RV, you either used antifreeze or you blew out the lines with compressed air. I like a freshwater flush for either one. It will push out the old antifreeze and remove the small amounts of stagnant water that's left in the lines if you blew them out. Now there are two freshwater sources in an RV, the fresh water tank and the pressurized city water connection. Even though most of the plumbing between these two sources is interconnected, there are some areas that are separated, so I'll show you how to flush both. First, I'm going to get my water pressure regulator connected to the hose. Since I'll be pressurizing the system later, I always connect this now so I don't forget. I'm also going to use my actual RV hoses for this process so they get flushed as well. Let's start with the fresh tank side. Switch your wet bay water valve over to fresh tank fill, connect your water hose, and turn on the water. You will notice water draining out of the fresh tank because we opened the drain earlier. That's okay, that's what we want. For now, we just want to flush the line from the wet bay over to the freshwater tank. Leaving the drain open will also flush out any sediment or water that sits in low spots inside the tank. I'll usually let this run for about 2 to 3 minutes or until I feel it's gotten a good flush. After that time, and with the water still running, close the freshwater tank drain valve. At this point, I'm just going to let water fill the tank for about 3 to 5 minutes. After that, turn off your water. Now we still have two very small sections of pipe on the freshwater tank plumbing side of the RV that we haven't flushed yet. The first one, if you have an antifreeze hose at your water pump, you still may have some antifreeze in this line, around the valve and on the input side of the water pump. The antifreeze hose valve should still be open from winterizing as long as you didn't switch it back. So simply put a gallon of fresh water in a bucket, place your antifreeze hose in the bucket, turn on the water pump, and open any one cold faucet in the RV. It doesn't matter which one. All we're doing here is flushing any antifreeze in this line past the water pump. You'll see the water level lower in the bucket, and after a couple seconds, you've flushed the antifreeze hose and can shut off the faucet. This is a little OCD, but I like getting as much antifreeze out of the system as possible. Okay, the last line on the fresh water tank side won't have antifreeze in it, but still worth a quick flush. That line is the pipe coming up from the freshwater tank to the water pump. Close the valve, allowing your water pump to draw from the antifreeze hose, and open the valve, allowing your water pump to instead draw from the fresh tank as it does in normal operation. This may be a couple valves, it may be a single two-way valve. It's going to depend on your manufacturer. If you remember earlier, we put a little water in the fresh tank, so with the water pump still powered on, open any one faucet in the RV for about 30 seconds to flush that line from the tank. The freshwater tank side of the plumbing is now flushed. Turn off the water pump and drain your freshwater tank. There's no need to stand here and wait, just leave the drain valve open for now. Next is flushing the city water side. If you winterize with antifreeze, here's where you have a decision to make. Once we start flushing water through the plumbing lines, the interior faucets are going to drop that antifreeze into the waste tanks. Our waste tank valves are closed, no big deal. But we're also flushing water through the outside faucets, the T&P valve on the water heater, and the low point drains. If you don't want antifreeze on the ground, now is the time to simply grab a bucket or a bin and place it under your low point drains. Okay, switch the wet bay valve to city water, turn on your water, head over to the low point drains and open both of them. This is going to push most of the antifreeze through the plumbing lines and out of the system. Let this run until you don't see any more antifreeze draining, then close the low point drains. Now you still may have some antifreeze in the lines around the faucets and valves. So with both low point drains closed, open each faucet outside, one at a time, hot and cold separately until the antifreeze is out. Close each faucet before moving to the next, and don't forget to flush the T&P valve on your water heater. You probably won't see much antifreeze at all since most of it drained out through the low points. Next, do the same thing on the inside faucets. Use the same process you did outside, open one to flush, then close it before moving to the next. Flush all sinks, showers, the toilet, and if you have specialty equipment like washing machines or water dispensers on your fridge that you ran antifreeze through, you'll want to flush them as well. After that, turn off your water. Now your RV should have no antifreeze anywhere other than the waste tanks. Flushing is complete. We can move to the next step, descaling the water heater. This is a necessary step done to remove the mineral buildup that forms when water is heated. That mineral buildup will restrict water flow, decrease efficiency, and eventually damage the heat exchanger. Now you can argue that descaling doesn't need to be done when dewinterizing. You can do it at the end of the season instead of the beginning to split up your maintenance time. I like to do it now, so I'm going to show you how to do it now. Descaling a tankless does involve some equipment and some time. If you realize you don't have what you need to descale right now, that's okay. But it's something you have to do. So please put this on your immediate to-do list if you decide to skip the descaling chapter for now. The default descaling frequency is once a year. The frequency jumps to twice a year if you live in your RV full-time or have hard water. If you live in your RV full-time and have hard water, you're looking at 3 to 4 times a year depending on usage. If you want to slow down the scale buildup, one of the easiest things you can do is use a water softener. Now you should be checking your water heater owner's manual. Some descaling processes may change from model to model, but the method I'm using on this Suburban water heater is fairly common. Here's how you do it. First, close the service valves on the propane cylinders and make sure the power switch on the remote display and water heater are powered off. You never heat the descaling solution. Next, drain the water from the water heater. Now, some manufacturers say to gravity drain. Other manufacturers want you blowing out the water heater with compressed air. So check your manual. To gravity drain, open your low point drains and the T&P valve. Once everything is drained, close them all back up. To blow out the water heater, same thing. Open your low point drains and the T&P valve. Let everything drain, but this time only close your low points. Leave your T&P valve open. With your wet bay switch to city water, connect an air hose set to the max pressure the manufacturer recommends, which is usually 30 psi. Once you see no more water coming out of the T&P valve, disconnect your air, and in either case, be sure to close your T&P valve. By the way, this is the adapter you'll need to connect air to your RV. One side is garden hose thread, and the other side will connect to an air hose fitting. I'll link to this blowout plug down in the description. Having a tiny amount of water inside the water heater isn't going to affect anything, so it doesn't need to be bone dry. If you don't have a submersible pump, I will link to this down below. You can of course piece hoses and fittings together if you already have everything, but this kit is most likely going to be less expensive than buying a pump and all the hoses you need separately. With the water heater drained, here's how you descale. The bucket with the kit is only 3 gallons. Now don't throw it out, it's perfect for storing everything for next year, but you'll need a 5-gallon bucket. In this bucket will be a submersible pump and 4 gallons of 5% acidity distilled white vinegar. Now, some manufacturers may install a two-way valve body on the water heater that allows you to shut off flow to the rest of the RV while connecting a descaling hose, similar to an antifreeze hose you'd see at the water pump. As you can see, mine doesn't have that. It's just a hose in and a hose out. Before doing anything else, if you don't have a sticker like this differentiating hot from cold, mark your water connections with a Sharpie. Next, place some towels on the floor and disconnect the hoses from the water heater. While you have the hose off, check the inlet for a screen or debris filter. If there is one, remove it, clean out any debris with warm water, and put it back in. The hoses in this kit have 3/4 inch garden hose thread female fittings. RVs use NPT fittings, so you'll need 2 adapters that don't come with this kit. In my case, I need a 3/4 inch GHT male to a 1/2 inch NPT female adapter. And for your convenience, I'll put links to these adapters down in the description. Connect one of the hoses to the cold side on the water heater first, then connect the other end of that hose to the pump. Connect the other hose to the hot side on the water heater, and that hose will just be placed in the bucket. Pour in your 4 gallons of vinegar, turn the pump on, check for leaks. If you have none, let this recirculate through the water heater for 45 to 60 minutes. And remember, your water heater should never be turned on. It's important to note that this recirculating process is not putting any vinegar into the plumbing lines on the RV. It's going directly into the water heater and then directly out of the water heater. After that, you'll want to turn off the pump, remove it from the bucket, and place it in a bucket with 4 gallons of fresh water. It helps if you have a second bucket, but if you don't, just put the pump on some towels and rinse out the bucket before adding water. Turn the pump back on and recirculate this fresh water through the water heater for about 10 to 15 minutes to flush out the vinegar. Before you remove your hoses, turn off the pump and drain the water from the water heater at the T&P valve outside, or you're going to have a mess inside when you remove the hoses. And by the way, I'm going to leave a step-by-step checklist and links to all the products used in this video down below in the video description. And that's it. Disconnect your recirculating hoses and reconnect your RV hoses. Check for leaks, add some plumber's tape if necessary, and you're done with descaling. I'd also like to mention to let the pump and recirculating hoses air dry for a couple days before putting them away. It might make sense to drill a couple holes in the bucket lid to avoid mold growth in storage. I refuse to charge a membership fee on this channel. All of our videos are free for everyone to watch. But without our sponsors, there are no videos, so I hope you'll stick around for a short message from today's video sponsor, RVMattress.com. They have a nice selection of mattresses for all budgets, and they have the oddball sizes you won't find in a residential mattress store. You'll find the RV Bunk, 3 different king sizes, and the Short Queen, among others. They also have a full line of pillows and bedding accessories. Their website will recommend a mattress based on how you sleep. Shipping is free, and they come with a limited lifetime warranty. You have 120 nights to try out your mattress, and we slept so well in the RV that we also got mattresses for our house and our family members. Use our link and discount code down below and get 30% off your mattress. The next step is sanitizing the lines. In the past, I've used a heavily diluted bleach and water solution, which is perfectly fine for freshwater system sanitizing. For this video, I'm going to use the bleach-free treatment. It's not an oxidizer like bleach and peroxide, contact time is shorter, and it's arguably a little safer on rubber seals and metal. When using bleach-free, there are different sanitizing methods for a water tank versus plumbing lines. Let's start with the water tank. Any water in the fresh tank should be drained and the drain valve closed. 1 packet of bleach-free comes with 2 SaniFresh pouches. 2 pouches will sanitize a 40-gallon tank and all the plumbing lines leading to it. All you have to do is put the content of these pouches into a full fresh tank. There's a couple ways to do this. If you have a gravity fill, put the bleach-free into a bucket with a couple gallons of water, pour the bucket into the fresh tank gravity fill, and then fill up the rest of the tank either using a hose at the gravity fill or the line from the wet bay. After 15 minutes, your tank is sanitized. If you don't have a gravity fill, disconnect the hose, pour these packets into your hose, then reconnect the hose and fill the tank. Now that's the basic process at its core, but I like to sanitize my water hoses, so let me show you what I do instead. Unlike rinsing, this time I'm adding my water filters, just as I do when I'm set up at a campground. I remove the filter from the last canister, pour in both pouches of bleach-free with a little water, and reconnect the canister. With the wet bay switch to fresh tank fill, simply turn on the water and fill your fresh tank. Once the tank is full, shut off the water. This will sanitize your hoses and everything after the filter assembly. So you can technically place your water pressure regulator, your splitter, and anything else you have after the filter assembly to sanitize them. It's also going to sanitize the line from the wet bay over to the fresh tank, and of course the fresh tank itself. Go inside the RV, turn the water pump on, and open any one faucet in the RV for a couple seconds. It doesn't matter which faucet, all we're doing here is getting the sanitizing solution from the water tank through the hose that connects to the water pump and through the water pump. After a couple seconds, close the faucet, let everything sit for 15 minutes, turn off the water pump, and then drain your freshwater tank. The pressurized city water sanitizing process starts the same way. In fact, you can leave everything set up the way it is with one exception. Your waste tanks need to be empty, or at least close to empty, because we're going to be running this sanitizing solution through the lines for 15 minutes, and that solution is going to end up in your waste tanks. To start, again, remove the last canister on your water filter, add 2 packets of bleach-free with some water, mix it up, and replace the canister. This time, instead of fresh tank fill, we want the wet base switched over to city water. Turn on the water, and the lines will pressurize. Go around and open all water faucets inside and outside the RV, both hot and cold, all sinks, showers, outside spray ports. This time I don't open my T&P valve because we are getting adequate flow of the solution through the water heater without having to open the T&P valve. Same thing with the low point drains. I leave them closed for sanitizing. I'd rather focus the solution on the faucets we use, and you're still going to get sanitizer flowing through the lines just above the low point drain pipes. Also, I don't hold the flush pedal down for 15 minutes. Now, I will flush the toilet for about a minute just to pull the solution through that section of pipe. You definitely can if you want, but unless you drink from the toilet, I just don't think there's a need to be sanitizing it. If you see water foaming at the faucets, that's okay. It means it's disinfecting the lines. Let the water run for 15 minutes or until you see no more foaming, whichever comes last. It's also worth mentioning to keep an eye on your waste tank levels during this process if you think 15 minutes of running water will fill any one of your waste tanks. After that time, turn off your water source, open your low point drains all the way, and drain the rest of the water from the system. When using bleach-free properly, it is safe for septic tanks and the environment. But something to consider, be mindful of where it's draining, especially if you're doing this on someone else's property. Bleach-free can also be used to sanitize water softeners, even though I did not put mine on the hoses for this video. I prefer to sanitize and regenerate my water softener separately from the RV. But it comes with instructions to sanitize a water softener with or without the RV. Okay, on to the last dewinterizing step, one last freshwater rinse. Remember, you have some water in your waste tanks already, so be mindful of those tank levels when rinsing out the system. To rinse the fresh tank, just fill it up with fresh water and then turn off your water. With the water pump on, open any faucet for a minute to pull the fresh water through the pump, close the faucet, turn off the water pump, and drain the tank. Easy, done. To flush the pressurized city water side, switch to city water at the wet bay and run water through all the faucets. I like to open one faucet at a time to rinse, let it run for about 30 to 60 seconds, close the faucet, and move to the next until they're all done. It only takes a couple minutes. Don't forget your T&P valve on the water heater and finish off with your low point drains. Additionally, there shouldn't be any bleach-free left in the last filter canister, but I will clean and dry the canister out before adding my new water filter. Last, turn off your water source, drain all your lines and tanks, close all your faucets, and your freshwater system is ready for another camping season. If you want to learn how to winterize an RV with a tankless water heater, there's a link to that video on the screen right now. If this video helped you, please consider subscribing, and thanks for watching.